All right. Good evening. Calling the, what day is today? 6th? 5th. 6th. What day is today? It's 5th. Today is December 5th, everyone. Calling the meeting of the December 5th, 2023 Energy Committee to order. The time is 5:31, and we are located here in room 218. So, wanted to go through a couple of things, just some housekeeping items. First of which is the acceptance of the meeting minutes. I have a copy here. Did you get a chance to read them?
Yep.
Any revisions or changes necessary to the November 7th, 2023 meeting minutes?
Nope, everything looked good.
And then go ahead and entertain a motion to approve these meeting minutes.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
Second.
So, motioned and seconded. Let's go ahead and proceed to a vote to approve the meeting minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting minutes were unanimously approved. Next thing on the agenda, we have one of the things we needed to do today is the statement for the annual town report needs to be reviewed. I went ahead and I know I sent that briefly before.
That's a
Briefly before. So I'll go ahead and read it out loud here and see what you think, and we can make any changes as necessary. So, the Energy Committee continues to make progress towards our green community goal of reducing energy consumption by 20% compared to our baseline, and I made an error here, to our 2011 baseline year. It currently reads 2012. It should be 2011. I checked that before I got here. The greatest opportunity for improvement is to reduce consumption of gasoline and diesel by town vehicles. We're taking advantage of a national grid program that provides research and recommendations of fuel-efficient vehicles for all departments. We are actively encouraging the purchase of new hybrid and battery electric vehicles whenever feasible. We were able to fund a portion of the ongoing survey of the town's properties, allowing us to gain valuable information on energy infrastructure such as heating and cooling equipment. Partnering with other committees, boards, and officials on this survey allowed us to avoid any duplication of effort and avoided unnecessary spending. We hope to use the data collected to achieve our long-held goal of creation of a comprehensive plan for the retirement and replacement of inefficient infrastructure as it reaches the end of its service lifetime. In 2023, we welcomed Amy Grenier to the committee as our newest member after Jason Collier stepped down. We would like to thank Jason for his work on the Energy Committee and for serving as a former chair of this committee. Respectfully submitted, Tim Wysocki, Eloise, and Amy. So, thoughts, changes? Love, hate.
I thought it was wonderful.
Okay, so I will make the change from 2012 to 2011, and then I'll go ahead and submit that. That needs to go to D, or I imagine she's probably
I
gonna.
don't even know. Probably.
I'll start with D, and we'll go.
Yeah.
D.
And send one to us, just as,
Yes, ma'am. I will do so. So that'll go out so we can meet that. That was kind of a casual thing, but we should probably vote on it. Is there?
yep.
Motion?
Motion to adopt the submission for the annual town report.
Motion?
Is there a
Second.
Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And it's noted that this is adopted with one minor revision, which is the error in
Yeah,
the
I
baseline
have
year.
that.
Okay, so we've taken care of that particular business. One of the other areas was to discuss the annual town report, the Mass Energy Insight. One of the things that I was curious about, but our annual report was actually due December 1st, and I didn't see any response from CMRPC that they submitted it. Have you guys heard anything about that, or, okay, so.
I think I did.
You think you did? You think you did?
I think I did.
I mean, I did look at the data and everything necessary for the report is complete. I just don't know whether they actually pushed the button or not. All right, while she's looking at that, I'll give some brief highlights on what the data is showing us at this point. One thing that caught my attention is that our building use and BTUs was down quite a bit year to year. So in 2022, it was 6,907 million BTU, and this year was, for fiscal year '23, it was 5,780, which was a reduction of 27%. I did look at the data integrity of the report, and it looked like everything was filled out correctly. There was no missing data. I do know that last winter was fairly mild overall, and this summer we had a lot of rain, so I don't know if the HVAC load was maybe a little bit less or not. But
Might have been.
at this stage, according to Table 2 of the annual report, we are currently showing negative 22.08 against our baseline year of 2011. And should that be accurate, that means that we have actually achieved the green community
20%.
or 20%. So that is pretty huge. Again, we probably should be doing some auditing of this just to make sure that we're good. But it does appear that on the face of this, that we've met the 20% after 11 years of trying. So that's great news. I think that's something that all of us should be very proud of, should it hold up here. Again, one of the largest areas of opportunity, as I mentioned in the report, continues to be vehicle use. It's approximately, almost 2,200 of our 70, almost 8,000, so roughly a quarter of the total town's energy use is in vehicles. And compared to buildings, where we're down almost 30% in our use, we're only down 4%. So I think that the area of opportunity for us to continue to improve is in that vehicle space, which is in alignment with the work we've been doing with National Grid on this inventory and survey, and we'll talk about that in a second. But absolutely, I personally would like to keep pushing on the departments to be thinking about energy efficient vehicles, looking at the battery, electric, the hybrid, for their future purposes.
When I had a lengthy conversation, well, it was up to 5 minutes with Eric, he said a lot of what they have to do is, if it's on the state bid list, they can
go for it.
They can go for it, but a lot of them aren't.
Okay.
Right now, it's just Ford that has them.
Okay. That's interesting, because I've seen in surrounding communities vehicles other than Fords that have been used by police officers. So Concord comes to mind.
Okay.
So I'd love to learn more about that. So maybe we need to sit down with him, or I'll sit down with him and talk through it a little bit more, because I know that the state is strongly encouraging the adoption of alternate vehicles. So hopefully it's more than just one vendor that's allowed to do that. And the other thing is, and we should talk about that too, because an email came up. Looks like there was some confusion about scheduling the intake meeting with National Grid. Did you guys see this?
No.
So let's see. So an email came in Friday from Justin Eckenberger of the vendor that we're using for this, and essentially they said we need to move because they're talking about giving up our spot to another one. That went to another community. That went to Kristen, and her response was, "It's my understanding that the next step would be to set up the meeting as stated in the email below. I didn't see that meeting occurred. Please advise." And that was as of December 1st. In a follow-up meeting or email that came in Monday, the 4th, he wrote back, "Thanks for reaching out. Just to give some background on Berlin's participation, please see slide 7 in the attached document." He bulleted that we did the scoping meeting on the 4th of January of this year, signed and returned our expectations on the 31st of January. And then he goes, "We were stuck for stages 4 and 5 for a few months until now. We've received some initial data over this past month." And Fred actually sent a couple of updates to them in the last week. So they're definitely getting information flowing. Since we received the initial data, we can start scheduling the intake meeting. Here, we will provide additional program review, run through the data provided, and identify any missing pieces, and I have some high-level questions. Please provide, and this is the action item to us, please provide 3 blocks of availability that work for the team from December 13th through December 15th, or the week of December 18th. I'm actually available for all those periods. I pretty much, after the 14th, I'm on vacation for the rest of the year because they didn't let me take a lot of my vacation earlier. So I can actually do daytime if that's beneficial for people, so I can attend that. But we want to make sure that we get back to them on that. So
Yep.
I don't know.
I think any of them.
Yeah, Amy, if you can chase Kristen during working hours, that would be helpful, and I'll send her a note to make sure that we're squared away.
We'll try.
So that's probably the big action item that we have. So confirming receipt of the Green Communities report was submitted. That's a biggie.
So I did get in like the middle of November, Kristen had sent to me looking for help on, Ian had emailed her and had a couple questions.
Okay.
One was about the vehicles, but he said that they now pull the vehicle data from the registry.
Yep.
So
He should have that.
did a list of just, confirm that these were purchased. And then he was asking about the small building in South Cemetery.
It's just a storage building.
Yeah, so because we have a National Grid bill for the cemetery,
Oh, it was just
but
assigned
that's
to
for the pump.
Okay.
That's not for the building. So I just wrote back and let him know that.
Okay.
So he said that he had 2 questions regarding the annual report. Still figuring out the ins and outs of the new AR format on MEI. So it sounded like
Yeah.
he
Good.
was aiming for getting that submitted
Good.
for us.
Good. All right, so when I go in Mass Energy Insight and look under annual reports, the status that I have is for annual report fiscal year 23 Berlin, its status is locked for review. Annual report summary submitted by CMRPC at 12/1 at 11:19:04 a.m. So to me, that implies they pushed the
That,
button.
yeah.
So I think we're good. It'd probably be worth, I'd love to have them say, thank you very much, it was accepted and we're good to go. So, anyway, I think we're in the clear. I just wanted to make sure that if anybody had heard otherwise. And back to the mass vehicle census that they pulled from, that's, I actually have it up right here. It's the part of Mass DOT. It's publicly available. You can pull the data right from the web. Any word on the Veritas contract work that was going on? Are they complete, or how are they?
Not complete. I don't think we've done a payment.
Okay.
We're at like 20% finished.
Okay.
So,
So is it waiting on payment from the town to
Nope.
proceed, or? Okay. Cool. That's our agenda. Any new business that we want to work through, or? Okay.
Have you heard anything from Kelly
I
Brown?
haven't. I didn't call her either, though, so a little bit of shame on me on that one. But we'll see if I can get with her. I'll call her. I promise. There, I said it.
Hey.
I promise. I'll do it.
Sometimes you can, sometimes.
Do
I
it.
have noted that he needs to call her.
She is. See, even Lisa's after me.
who do we need to have for the intake? The chiefs?
The chiefs and
Kristen.
Fred and Kristen.
Fred.
Those are, I mean, I think that our supplementary or our additional vehicles like council on aging or something like that, we can, that's not a big deal. We can represent them.
Okay.
It's really the important, it's the department heads that matter.
Ideally, those department heads.
They comprise probably 90% of all our vehicles, so yeah, I would say they're the right people.
And you said any, so is it the 13th, the 15th, or the 18th?
Any day, so it'd be the
Or-
13th, 14th, 15th, or the whole week of the 18th.
Okay.
So it's pretty flexible. He needed, I believe it was an hour. So
Okay.
It's not a gigantic time commitment. And with our fleet, I mean, it shouldn't take a huge amount of time to go over the vehicles.
What do they need to have
So,
ready?
so the nature of the call is that they are going to be presenting to us.
Okay.
So they should be in reception mode and be prepared to answer any questions about their vehicles. Specifically, they're going to be interested in the usage of those vehicles. So I could see something coming to Fred and saying, you know, hey, this one vehicle looks like it's an off-road vehicle, but it's titled, do you use it on the road or do you use it off-road? And the answer could be both. You know, just something about the operations of their departments and how they actually use the equipment that they have.
Okay.
So it should be something they should be able to answer off the top of their head, I would guess.
Well, fire would also be the ambulance, right?
Yes.
Do you see the ambulance information on there?
That's a good question. It'll take me a second to figure that out. Municipal aggregation vehicles,
What time was the meeting with?
6 o'clock. All right. Berlin. Vehicle type. Yes, ambulance are showing.
Okay. How about the council on aging?
And they have them in, I'm trying to find it detailed. They have them by types. An ambulance was type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think there's some that,
I believe I gave them that information.
yeah, I'm just going off the state DOT.
general.
Oh, okay.
I didn't pull the annual report. It's definitely in the annual report. What else?
Cemetery doesn't have a vehicle, do they?
No, cemetery is under control of highway.
You good?
Yep. When do we meet next time?
Let's talk about that. So, the date, the first Tuesday, first Tuesday is actually the 2nd. That doesn't seem to make sense. So I know that we're always working around other meetings. So we have the option of doing the 2nd, and we'd be here with bells on right after the new year. Or we could pass over 1 month. I mean, we don't have anything earth-shattering going on right now. Or we could try another date.
Well, what's the first Tuesday in February?
This first Tuesday in February, February is the 6th.
If we have nothing pressing, you know, your annual report, we sign that off today,
Yeah.
and all the other state reports are in, then just forego January and go to February 6th.
That works for me. So we'll go ahead and do we still want to do early like this? Does that work for everyone better?
Yes, it does.
All right, so the next meeting will be February 6th at 5:30 PM, located here, unless we want to talk about hybrid. But as of right now, we would be scheduled here at room 218 in person.
That's
Same
good.
time.
Hmm?
Same bad time.
Same time.
Same bat
Same
time,
bat
same
channel.
bat channel. Got that, Roger? You're the channel. All right. Hearing nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned at 5:51 PM.